what is happening in California? I'm starting to get concerned. I know that Enron several years ago decided to target California for one of the biggest energy scams in the history of capitalist scams, and that history is replete with major events that caused people nothing but grief, anguish, anger, fear, death, destruction. Capitalism is such a bad system. Oh my God, it is such a bad system. And it takes a collapse or partial collapse for people to realize it. But we apparently do not have long-term collective memory. We went through this, not you and me. We weren't around. But, well, some people listening to this program might have been around in the during the crash in the 30s and the Depression, when it became necessary to begin World War II in order to pull this country out of the mess that capitalism had got us into. But when are we ever going to learn? Oh, my God. And now there's California. California, how does a state like California become bankrupt? How does it become 24, 25, what is it, $26 billion worth of red ink? How does it get to the point where reports are out there that, I mean, everything in California is going to stop? School districts are going to lay off thousands of teachers. Class sizes are going to have to get bigger. You know what that means. Bus service is going to have to end. Summer school programs gone. Academic year shortened. This is just in where it concerns education. I saw something on television tonight. A bunch of old people sitting around in a nursing home or a facility for old people, and they're playing card games or they're doing those exercises they do on chairs. And some of them have what is it? The cannula? What do you call that thing in the nose? Cannula? They're getting oxygen. Or oh my God! And like 80% of the money that goes into those places, at least the ones featured on NBC News, are funded by the state of California. Schwarzenegger has decided he's got to empty the prisons. He's got to close the state parks. What the hell is going on? I'll tell you what's going on. You want to know what's going on? This is what Grover, what the hell, Norquist, that filthy son of a bitch who said he wants to shrink public services to the point where I'm screwing up the quote. Don't send it to me because I hate this bastard. Shrink the economy, public services, whatever, until you can drown it in a bathtub. Well, here you are. Now, of course, Grover Norquist, I believe, lives in Washington, D.C. I don't know. Is Grover, is that his name? Grover Norquist? I always think of a cartoon character when I hear his name. But I'll tell you what happened, and you know what happened. Prop 13, all the way back in 1978. Remember that? Prop 13 had to do with property taxes. Proposition 13 did. But there was another part of it. In addition to lowering property taxes, the initiative also contained language that required that infamous two-thirds majority in both houses of the California legislature for any tax increase or amounts of revenue collected, including income tax rates, everything. It also required two-thirds vote majority in local elections for local governments who wanted to raise special taxes. So everybody says, yay, goddamn, no more taxes, woohoo! Here you are. Now, a lot of people who voted for this back in 1978, what is that, 32 years ago? Or something like that. They're dead. They're gone. They're rotting in a crypt somewhere. They don't exist anymore. But Prop 13, that was the lead-off batter. The cleanup batter was the 2003 California recall election to remove Democratic Governor Gray Davis and replace him with a movie star. This is astonishing to me. This whole ballot initiative thing, that is not freedom and democracy. That's mob rule. We don't live in a democracy. If we lived in a democracy, the entire country is going to look like California, on the verge of just absolute, utter chaos, I guess. I am hoping that we will hear from listeners tonight who are in California, who can enlighten us. Now, I know you don't live in California. You're listening to this program. You live in New Jersey. You live in Florida. You live in Arkansas. It doesn't matter. Remember, what is it? Somebody said, what's another word for a trend? A fad. A fad starts in New York, but a trend begins in California. Is that, or have I got it asked backwards? It doesn't matter. California used to be what, the eighth or the largest economy on earth? Just the state of California. And now they are bankrupt to the point where social services are stopping everything. Police and fire protection. Do the people in California realize? I don't know. Maybe you do. Maybe you do know what you're facing. But I think at the full impact, and what's your unemployment rate right now? Is it around 12%? If ever there was a time for burning torches and pitchforks and a descent on Sacramento, on your state capital, isn't now the time? This is unbelievable. And when they do get a budget referendum or a tax increase passed, the movie star vetoes it. I'm sending this back without my signature. You know, what? It's bizarre. Gray Davis was recalled. Arnold Schwarzenegger in 2003 was got his office. And now Davis was a victim, wasn't he? He was a victim of Enron. A victim of Enron. Because of that so-called electricity crisis in the early 2000s, where so many people in California saw their monthly energy bills triple in cost, even after they heard the recordings of the Enron predators, these filthy sons of bitches giggling and laughing and hooting and hollering about what they were doing to the state of California, the ratepayers. Enron, huh? Rhymes with Goldman Sachs, rhymes with Bernie Madoff, rhymes with Citigroup. Rhymes with AIG, rhymes with UBS. But Enron was the harbinger of what was coming. And I'll never forget those audio tapes of these so-called energy traders at Enron, laughing and hooting and giggling and hollering about the poor, they talked about poor old ladies. Oh, how's a bitch going to pay her bill? Who cares? Screw her. I want my vacation. I want my bonus check. What are you getting this year? Oh, man, I'm getting $300,000. What are you getting? Oh, some chicken chump change, man. I'm getting 1.2 mil. Aha. So here you all are. What are you going to do? And it's not, again, fads start in New York, trends start in California. The rest of us in this country who look at California go, tisk, tisk, tisk.